Good evening, members of the public, Interim Superintendent Dennis Ventrillo, Assistant Superintendent Durialvich, members of the Monroe Township Board of Education. The Monroe Township Board of Education Organization meeting is now called to order. Would you please join me in a Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First time ever.
This is a unique meeting where the board secretary opens the meeting as chair, and all the officer positions are resigned until the president's elected. At this time, I will proceed with the roll call. Ms. Arminio.
Here.
Mr. Braverman. Ms. DeMayo.
Here.
Mr. Kaufman. Mrs. Koloponowicz.
Here.
Mr. Nostine.
Here.
Mr. Poi.
Here.
Mr. Prezioso.
Here.
Mr. Ryback.
Here.
Mr. Zarneski. Please let it be known that we have a quorum present this evening. In accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law, the Monroe Township Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted December 26, 2014 at all schools, with the Home News Tribune, the Cranberry Press, and filed with the clerk of the municipality. The official election results and the agenda are available on the front table. It is now my duty to administer the oath of office to the following individuals who I hereby request join me at the microphone. Jill DeMayo, Kathy Koloponowicz, Steve Ryback, Robert Zarneski.
Thank you.
Mr. Zarneski's en route. I may have to swear him in a little
Separately.
late. Yeah. Please repeat after me and sign the oath once completed. I
I, Kathy Koloponowicz,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in the state, under the authority of the people, so help me God. I
Jill Koloponowicz,
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
to the office of member of the Board of Education, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I,
Stephen Ryback, do solemnly swear or affirm, and I declare that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1, and that I am not disqualified to hold this office due to a conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A 12-1, so help me God.
congratulations. I understand that Mr. Zarneski is running a bit late, as Jamesburg had their organization meeting this evening also, and he'll be sworn in as soon as he arrives. Next on the agenda is the election of board president. I will open the nominating process at this time for president of the Monroe Township Board of Education. Are there any nominations for board president? Ms. Arminio.
I nominate Doug Poy.
Second.
Second was Anthony. Are there any other nominations for president of the Monroe Township Board of Education? Seeing none, I will close the nominating process for president, and as required, we will have a roll call. Roll call is for board president, and the nominee is Doug Poy.
Mr. Gorski, may I say something
Yes,
prior
sir.
to that?
Yes, sir.
And I realize what I'm about to say is somewhat unorthodox. Nevertheless, I feel that I need to say it. And I'm asking that my fellow board members that are here tonight, I'm asking that you do not vote for me unless you're willing to put past grudges behind you. Unless you are willing to work with each other in a respectful manner. And unless you are willing to make the improvement of teaching and learning the top priority of this Board of Education. If you are comfortable agreeing to those three conditions, then I will appreciate your casting your vote in my favor. Otherwise, please do not vote for me. You can either vote no or you can abstain. Thank you.
We'll proceed with roll call. Ms. Arminio.
I accept, thank you very much, and I vote yes.
Ms. DeMayo.
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman.
Yes.
Mrs. Koloponowicz.
Yes.
Mr. Nostine.
Yes.
Mr. Poy.
I abstain.
Mr. Prezioso.
Yes.
Mr. Ryback.
It's an honor for me to say yes, and also to thank you for your words, and you have my support in everything you just requested.
Very well. I would like to congratulate Mr. Doug Poy on his election as board president. Mr. Poy, would you please join me at the chair position?
Now's the time, Doug.
And I will turn over the chair now to Mr. Doug Poy, President of the Monroe Township Board of Education.
Give him his gavel, Mike.
I wasn't going to keep it.
Yeah.
Well, I will just briefly say thank you to all of you, and I look forward to working with you this year. And I have a little bit longer statement that I will make later in the agenda. At this time, I will open the floor for nominations of vice president. Yes. Certainly.
Kathy, I know you put a lot of time and effort into this. As president, I appreciate everything you did. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, which a lot of people don't want to do. So, as a board member, I would like to thank you for being president.
Okay, then once again, I open the floor for nominations for the vice president. Mr. Prezioso?
I nominate Tom Notstein.
Tom Nostine. Are there any other nominations? All right, then I will close the floor to nominations, and we will proceed with a roll call vote. Oh, I'm sorry.
Roll call is for the office of Board Vice President for Tom Nostine. Ms. Arminio.
Yes.
Ms. DeMayo.
I abstain.
Mr. Kaufman.
Yes.
Mrs. Koloponowicz.
Abstain.
Mr. Nostine.
Yes.
Mr. Poi.
Yes.
Mr. Prezioso.
Yes.
Mr. Ryback.
Yes.
It's my pleasure to announce the election of Mr. Tom Nostine as Monroe Township Board of Education Vice President.
Congratulations, Mr. Nostine. I look forward to working with you.
You really are now. You got to.
We have the Code of Ethics that I believe, have you already distributed that, Mike, or is it in the packet?
Mr. Gorski?
Yes, and it needs a resolution.
Mr. Tarneski's here?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mr. Board President, it is recommended that members of the Monroe Township Board of Education acknowledge receipt of and acceptance of the New Jersey School Boards Association Code of Ethics.
Second.
Second by Mr. Prezioso. Any questions, comments? Then we'll have a roll call. Ms. Arminio.
Yes.
Mr. Zarneski. Okay. Ms. DeMayo.
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman. Mrs. Koloponowicz.
Yes.
Mr. Nostine.
Yes.
Mr. Prezioso.
Yes.
Mr. Ryback.
Yes.
Mr. Poi.
Yes.
Mr. Board President, Code of Ethics, motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I would like to make a motion that we direct our Board Secretary, Mike Gorski, to set up a meeting with either the NJSBA field rep or with our own board attorney to meet with us at our next board meeting to clarify and answer any questions that any of us may have on the specifics of the code. I make that motion due to the fact that during the past year, there were some misunderstandings regarding the code, and there were charges of code violations. And with new members on the board, as well as relatively new members, myself included, I think it justifies that we spend a little time making sure that we are as clear as we can be on exactly what is meant in these various statements of the Code of Ethics. Do I hear a first? Okay, all right. Or a second, I should say. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that. New to the job.
So the
Can I
motion
ask
was
a
made by Doug Poi and seconded by Tom Nostine.
Okay, discussion?
Yes. Is this going to be a closed session item? It doesn't have to be, I don't believe, does it?
Mr. Poi?
Go ahead.
If Gwen Thornton comes from school boards, that could be an open session item. I was just thinking about the same question. If we're going to receive attorney advice, I believe that would be best suited for a closed session.
Okay.
Close.
But I would request that at some point, if we do speak to the attorney, and there are some things that I believe that the public should be apprised of after our closed session. I mean, it's not, I mean, anything that's attorney advice is one thing, but I don't think discussion of a code of ethics is a confidential situation. If we talk about specifics, I understand, but I believe that we are a body for the public, and the public should understand what we understand.
Agreed.
So that would be my request. Thank you.
Any other discussion or comments?
Roll call.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote?
Ms. Arminio?
Yes.
Ms. DeMayo?
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Mrs. Koloponowicz?
Yes.
Mr. Nostine?
Yes.
Mr. Prezioso?
Yes.
Mr. Ryback?
Yes.
Mr. Poi?
Yes.
Mr. Board President, motion passes.
Okay, it is recommended that the Board of Education suspend the operation of policy bylaw number 0164 to permit the board to conduct only one public session, public forum at this evening's public meeting.
Second.
Do we need to do that as a roll call?
That was Tom Nostine
And Ken?
and Lou
Lou.
Kaufman.
Lou.
Yes. Ms. Arminio?
Yes.
Mr. Mayo?
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman? Mrs. Koloponowicz?
Yes.
Mr. Nostine?
Yes.
Mr. Prezioso?
Yes.
Mr. Ryback?
Yes.
Mr. Poi?
Yes.
Mr. Board President, motion passes.
Okay, at this time, the floor is open to the public forum. Anyone caring to speak, please come forward.
Can I just say a few words before the public, or?
Let's keep that to the other board matters. Okay, if we could, please. All right? Yes. So anyone wishing to speak should come to the microphone, state your name, your residence, and if you have an affiliation with a group, then what that affiliation is. And once again, we will adhere to the 3-minute time limit.
Robert Roach, 18 Muirfield Boulevard, Monroe. I'd like to congratulate all the new board members. And Doug, I appreciate your comments before the election, and I would love to see the board work as a unison with the understanding that the primary purpose of this whole thing is educating students. And let's stick with that and not worry about bickering. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Do you mind if I swear in Rob at this time? Okay.
Seeing that there's no one else, we will close the floor for the public forum. And at this time, we will make a slight departure from the agenda so that Mr. Gorski can swear in Mr. Zarneski.
I know, right?
Please repeat after me and sign once completed. I
Robert Zarneski.
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support
Go ahead.
the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
And I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
and to the governments established in the United States
And to the government established in the United States.
and this state
And this state.
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
Under the authority of people, so help me God.
I
I, Robert Zarneski,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of Member of Board of Education,
for the office of Member of Board of Education,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
justly
justly
perform all duties of that office
perform all duties of that office
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I
I, Robert Zarneski,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
and declare
and declare
that I am not disqualified as a voter
that I am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
and that I am not disqualified to hold this office
and I am not disqualified to hold this office
due to a conviction of a crime or offense
due to a conviction of crime or offense
listed in NJSA 18A12-1,
listed in NJSA 18A 12-1.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our next item on the agenda deals with our meeting dates. Be it resolved that the regular meetings of the Board of Education of the Township of Monroe shall be held as per the attached schedule at 7 p.m. at which time formal action may be taken.
First and a second.
Second?
Roll call vote, or?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? Motion passes. Next policy.
Be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Township of Monroe that all policies of the previous board are hereby adopted until such time as the board decides to revise or otherwise alter policies.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Motion passes. Letter C.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education designates the following banks or depositories for school district funds: TD Bank, the Depository Trust Company, State of New Jersey Cash Management Fund, New Jersey Asset and Rebate Management, Provident Bank, which provides most of our banking services. Be it further resolved that the business administrator is authorized to establish accounts and wire transfer funds among the accounts as needed, and approve of the payment of bills between board meetings. Discussion?
Yeah, just quick. Are these bank accounts that we've had established for a while? Any of them new?
No, none of them are new. They're all been established for a while. The most recent has been Provident Bank. A few years ago, we switched to Provident Bank, and we've noticed and recognized some handsome savings in fees and higher interest rates from Provident. And Provident supports the Monroe Education Foundation as a plus.
Okay, thank you.
Any further comments or questions?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Okay, the next item deals with our newspaper legal advertisements. Be it resolved that the Board of Education designates the Cranberry Press, the Home News Tribune, or the Asbury Park Press, all of which circulate in the school district, as official newspapers for legal advertisements.
All in favor? A quick question?
Question. It says "or Asbury Press."
Yes.
Can you explain that? Because is it the Home News Tribune, is that a subsidiary or a partner of the Asbury Press?
I'm not sure of the legal affiliation, but they are separate newspapers. They are all recommended to be approved as the official newspapers for advertisements, and we're required to advertise in 2. This gives us some flexibility with 3 if we can't get an advertisement in time.
If either the Cranberry Press or the Home News, which I think are more widely circulated in Monroe, so in other words, you might eliminate one of those to put it in the Asbury Park Press?
If needed. If
But the
we
preference-
can't get an advertisement in time, if we miss a deadline or something, if there's an emergent circumstance, then we can go to the other default newspaper. Generally, we advertise everything in the Cranberry Press and Home News.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
Okay, at this time, we'll hear the student board members' report. Mr. Tharney?
The schools were in session today as the first day returning from the winter break. Additionally, during the month of December, some of the schools in the district had concluded efforts in raising funds and supplies for those in need of the state of New Jersey, participating in a few different organizations. Additionally, the MTHS mock trial team will be engaging in the New Jersey State Bar Foundation's Vincent J. Abruzzi High School mock trial competition with other teams from schools across the state. MTHS DECA and the MTHS Future Business Leaders of America are continuing their participation in regional competitions within their respective parent organizations. Students in DECA are scheduled to continue to compete in individual and team-based events in business administration, finance, marketing, and hospitality on Wednesday, January 7th at Keene University. And students in FBLA will partake in their online business competitive testing on Thursday, January 8th. Students in both organizations will be competing against other students in their region in a chance to place and advance to the state levels. The MTHS chapter of the Model United Nations will be partaking in the Tri-State Conference this Friday through Sunday. After developing country-based research papers, the participants will interact with other delegates in a mock session of the UN, promoting the active learning of other countries, varied cultures, and international socioeconomic and political issues. And finally, back on December 18th, a technology exposition was held at the high school that allowed for a number of students, staff, and board members to explore some of the options that are available in continuation with the district's one-on-one learning initiative. Attendees were able to discuss different options with representatives from various companies. And that concludes the student board members' report.
Thank you, Mr. Thorney. Are there any committee reports this evening? All right, then we move to the board president's report. I do have a statement that I would like to share with you. As I said earlier, I do thank you for your vote for selecting me as the president of the board for this year, and I ask for your support and your cooperation as we strive to make some very important decisions that will affect the future of the Monroe schools in the years to come. As you know, we will be selecting a new superintendent to provide the educational leadership of our district. This is one of the most important responsibilities, if not the most important, that a Board of Education has. Additionally, we will need to look at the issue of providing adequate classroom spaces for our ever-growing community. This may entail redistricting of our elementary schools and planning for a building referendum to relieve the overcrowding of our middle school and high school. Furthermore, we will be making decisions that support the academic performance of our students so that they are well prepared to compete with other students for acceptance at the colleges of their choice or to gain employment that will be financially rewarding and secure. Finally, we need to accomplish all of these goals while being ever mindful of who is footing the bill. And here in Monroe, that is primarily our local property owners. But before we move too quickly into this new calendar year, I wish to remind you of some of the significant accomplishments that occurred last year under the leadership of our past president, Kathy Kolopanovich. The board attorney was made a member of our staff and will no longer be outsourced. An assistant superintendent as well as supervisor of applied and fine arts were appointed. The issue of payment of debt services for the new high school by Jamesburg was resolved. A 3-year contract with the Monroe Township Education Association was successfully negotiated, and school taxes on the average assessed home decreased as a result of careful fiscal management by our business office and new evaluations throughout the township. Last year, Monroe Township High School received several recognitions that reflect the improvements in the academic performance that occurred over the past years. Advanced Placement District Honor Roll, Silver Medal from the U.S. News and World Report for being one of the top high schools in the nation, recognition as one of the top 100 high schools by New Jersey Monthly, recognized as one of the top 10 innovative high schools in the nation. Such achievements as these occur from the efforts of parents who value education and who encourage their children to do their best. It comes from the efforts of those children in demonstrating perseverance in their studies. The combined efforts of our professional staff K through 12 and the efforts of our administration and Board of Education to use resources wisely in providing the best education possible. I want to thank Mr. Ventrullo for his willingness to serve as our interim superintendent this year. He has kept our ship moving in the right direction, and we do appreciate his efforts. I also wish to recognize Mr. Gorski for his outstanding efforts to assure that our fiscal house is always in order and to seek opportunities for savings wherever they can be found. Additionally, the efforts of Mr. Tague, our maintenance and custodial staffs, provide our children with clean and safe schools to attend. Even though expressions of appreciation were made at the December meeting, since I was not present, I wish to thank Ms. Antilles and Mr. Chiarella for their years of service on this board. As your new president, I hope that my fellow board members will join me in a New Year's resolution to work together respectfully, to disagree without being disagreeable, to encourage the professional development of our staff, and most importantly, to work to help every child attain the highest academic success possible. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Gorski has asked me to make a couple of reminders. He asked that you sign and return the Board of Ethics statement to him this evening before leaving, and that you also return to his office your committee preference form by Monday of next week so that we can get those committees set up and working. Okay, is there any other board business? Mr. Ryback?
If I may, I'd just like to congratulate once again Rob, Kathy, and Jill on their election. And I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who supported me and certainly those that came out on this cold night to be here. I appreciate that. I was elected to serve you and the students, represent the students of this district. I don't take that lightly. I'll be doing that to the best of my ability, and I look forward to doing that, working collegially with everyone on this Board of Education. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ryback? Any other comments or statements from the board? Ms. Arminio?
I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and I want to thank in the previous year all the parents who've come out and participated in the public forums, and of course all the students who do a wonderful job in schools, and my fellow board members and members of the overall community. I think Monroe is heading in the right direction, and we can all be very proud of our service and the participation of the community. So I want to thank everyone and hope that we move forward in 2015 and get even more involved with the community and transparency. Thank you. Oh, and you know, I apologize for missing the staff. The staff, of course, does a wonderful job, and I appreciate the job of 2014, and I look forward to their work in 2015. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, our next scheduled board meeting will be on Wednesday, January the 14th at 7 p.m. Unless there is some change in that based on the assistance we'll get with the Code of Ethics. And at this time, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Oh, you need a motion for that? Sorry about that.
Second.
Second.
Sorry.
Who's second?
Mr. Ryback seconded.
Steve Ryback, second, 7:35 p.m.
Renee?